Hello friends, welcome to this session. I am Sanyukta Saxena and this is the last tile that we drew using the Tangle Pouyang and a few more tangles to go along with it, right? So taking our journey a little ahead, we'll try again drawing this tangle but a little differently, right? So I'm again starting on a Zentangle tile with my borders, right? Take deep breaths with a sense of gratitude and appreciation towards the art form, towards the best of the tools that we use to create it, towards its founders, towards the opportunity to create, right? Always be thankful for the smallest of things in life. Many people don't have even that, yeah? So let's get started. So what I'm going to do is today, let's play around first with this band and then play around with the Tangle Gorgeous itself, right? So I'll draw probably two of them. And in the first one, I'm going to replace the band with Marasu, right? So let's get started first. So I'm going to draw a nice onion shape. First start with my gorgeous only. Add some auras. Again, thick lines, thin auras, thick auras. That's the way to go about it. Right? And then instead of wrapping it around with pepper, let's try something else. Let's try Marasu. Something like this. And then as usual, just complete it. Yeah. So let's see. How does it turn out to be if we, instead of the pepper, use the Tangle Marasu? So just like we do for Marasu, I'm drawing those bands, dividing the ring into sections. And I'm going to do that inside also, like this, right? And then just ink with a highlight, as we generally do. I want to retain the drama factor. So alternate spaces to be inked. You can either add a highlight using your micron itself, or you can ink the entire space and then add a highlight using your chalk, whatever you feel like, whatever you find easy to do. Just go by that. They both look equally nice. White chalk is a magic tool, yeah? So it can do what no other tools can do. Best for creating highlights, especially toned paper. Just in case you have still not had a glimpse of my Udemy courses, I've added 2 courses recently which deals with tangling on toned paper, on black paper. So just type my name, Sanyukta Saxena, and you can find all my courses at one place. And you can have a glimpse, you can preview it. If you like it, you can buy it. Udemy courses are mostly on offer, so I don't think that should be an issue, but there's lots to learn about tangling on toned papers. Yeah, so it will help you take your practice further. It will help you nurture, enrich your practice. Yeah, so doing the same inside also, whatever spaces are visible, not thinking much where what, whatever little space I have, just adding that inking. Right, so that is Marasu. Now since there is inking outside also, so you can choose. You can either ink your gorgeous or you can add some orbs. Right, so we have 3 sections here. Probably we'll ink 2 and add orbs in 1 so that it balances out a little, because we have inked Marasu also. This is a thought process. You can always ink all. No hard and fast rule. So in between one column, one section, I am adding orbs. Just a little variation. And then again, I feel like giving a nice curl here. Yeah. So these new tangles are real fun. I put my hand on the ink and it is spreading since the pen is new. So you have to be a little careful. So I'm now doing the same exercise above. Added that gorgeous and inking the sections. Take your time. Slowly do that exercise of inking. Don't haste up. Right? So that's one. Going to add a little outer aura there. Yeah. So now let us draw one more. So in that one, what I'm going to do is draw the pepper, but probably you can use your pencil and draw a knot just like we draw for perk. Yes. And then I'm going to draw the pepper and then again the perk. Right. So that's what I'm going to do here. So I'm going to start with perk. So draw some slanting lines with an aura like these double lines. Yeah. Then start adding orbs from the center. Then add further orbs. You don't need to add complete orbs, you can always squeeze them in. Just take care of the small little spaces in between at the same time. Little blacks in those intersectices add to the look of this tangle. Right? So that's perk, and then I'm going to go ahead and ink the pepper and draw pepper the way it is. So add those bands. Generally in pepper, this oval shape that we drew is not inked. That effect is created with the shading, as if the lines are enclosing something. But here in Pouyang, we generally ink that. That's how at least Maria has drawn it. So I'm drawing the strands. The bands enclosing the orb or the oval shape. Like this. Yes. And then you can add the other half of your pork. Whichever way you wish to draw. Take your time and do that exercise once more. Yeah. So just take care of the in-between small spaces. Right? So that's another way to go about drawing your Pouyang. Yes, just an experiment. So now we'll go ahead and draw a few other tangles. So I'm going to add one or two jetties here randomly, and then probably move on to some triply probably. Just thinking of some tangles to draw under my Pouyang and which adds to the look of my tile, right? So just adding a few jetties just like that, not thinking much where, what, randomly deciding some spaces to add my jetties, right? And then I'm going to start with my triply. So start with a triangle, aura one side of the triangle closely and create another, and now keep building on it. Create one flower at a time, complete the flower. That's an easier way to move about drawing triply. So this is one flower that I have completed. Moving on to the next, again aura one side closely. Close auras is a key to drawing your triply nicely, and continue completing the flowers. So that's another flower. Now taking this flower, again adding triangles, adding close auras, again working on the third flower and close it here, right? Don't worry too much about whether the lines are perfect, not perfect, triangles are equal size or not. That's not important as far as Zentangle is concerned. You can also give curve to the lines. You can draw triangles of different sizes. That's fine. All looks good as far as Zentangle is concerned. All looks nice. No mistakes, remember. Never forget that. That's the key. Right? So I'm going to just go on like this. So I'm done drawing my triply. You can always place one or two jetties more wherever you feel like. It's optional though. I kind of feel like adding some more. Few hidden ones. Right? Now it is up to you. Choose a nice fragment for your triply, or you can just shade it, draw anything simple. For the jetties, I'm going to add, I think, Knight's Bridge. Right? So just ink like a checkerboard. Right? Simple tangle to draw. Knight's Bridge. Just ink alternate squares and you are done. You can add the same to all, or you can choose something else. Yeah, so I will probably go with the same for all. You can also draw the grid that I'm using in a different fashion so as to give your Knight's Bridge a diamond shape. Right, need not be squares, they can be like diamonds. So just draw the grid differently and vary the look. Yeah, so I'm going to do that exercise for all my jetties. Draw the grid and ink the alternate squares. Yeah. So inside the triply, I am now going to use the Wells grid. Draw an orb and retrace a part of the orb and just land on the other side like this. Right? And then up to you. You can simply add some auras, or you can vary the fragment in a few. Right? So I'm first going to insert this fragment in a few. This is the Wells grid, and then just aura. Like this, right? Again an orb, retrace a part of the orb, land on the other opposite corner like this, and then just add auras. right? So let's go ahead and add this in a few, and then we can add a different fragment in few of the others. Take your time, slowly add to as many as you wish. Keep rotating your tile. Don't move your hands much. Instead, move your tile. Have fun. Relax and enjoy. The process is all that matters as far as Zentangle is concerned. Right? So I think we have added a couple of them. Right? And then choose some other fragment, probably just triangles, within triangles, and then add the corners and ink the inside. Something like this. So I'm adding 2 more auras inside my triangle. Probably you can add third here, ink the innermost, and then just join the corners like this. Again, going to do the same, 2 and 3, and then join the corners. Yeah. So again, adding auras, 2, 3, inking the innermost, and then joining the corners. So take your time, slowly go to each of the triangle and do that exercise. If you wish, you can add one more fragment, entirely up to you. I'm still continuing with the same exercise of adding the fragment inside the triangles. Do it at your own pace, no hurry. You can also draw different fragments or stick to one fragment, whatever you feel like. This is just an example of 2 fragments. So just go ahead and do that exercise for all the sections. Whatever space is left, wherever it is behind, just go with whatever spaces you have. Yeah, so I'm just left with a few more. Join the corners, add 2 or 3 more triangles inside the triangle, and then join the corners. Yeah. Take your time. Yeah. So I'm done with drawing my triply, right? So let's go ahead now and start to shade, and we shall see if we want to add something else. Yeah. So first let us get on with shading our Pouyang again, where the lines seem to be going under. A nice way to shade. So highlight those places. Make sure you don't add too much. Right? And here also let us add first. So perk, you always have a choice. You can add graphite to one side, or you can add under the strands, whichever way you want to shade, that's fine. I'm going to add graphite on one side like this, right? As far as jetties are concerned, again you have a choice to shade on both sides of the band, or you have a choice to highlight one side, whichever way you want to go ahead. Entirely up to you. Right? So let's blend this much first, and then we shall see what else do we want to add. So blend, but don't blend too much. You want certain sections white as a highlight. So that's our pork. Moving on to our jetties. Leave that white band. Don't add too much graphite. Take your time. Slowly go to each. Make sure the ink is dry. Moving on to our jetties. So I like shading jetties this way because it adds that nice contrast, but you can always add shades on both sides of the band. Right? So feel free to shade the way you feel like. Shading in Zentangle is very personalized. Right? And then coming to the triply. So I am going to just add some thick graphite at the edges, ends. Going with my border. Adding shadow under my jetties. Right? So just first blend this much, and then we shall see if we want to add more. Taking the graphite away from the edges. But not covering the entire thing. Keeping the center white. Trying to give a nice pillow effect, high and low. The darker regions recede and the center pops up. Under the jetties, a bit of darkness, shadow there, and the ends probably a little bit of shadow there. right? So let us now pick up our chalk, the magic tool, yes, and make sure it is sharp, and then highlight the other side of your pork where you have not added the graphite. Use a different blending stub to soften it. So this section is already highlighted, but if you want to redo, you can add some chalk there. Highlight the other half of your jetties. Whatever little you can do. Highlight it, and then a little on your gorgeous. Yeah. Now use your different blender. Blend the chalk. And then some chalk here. Highlighting some part of my triply. Where I have not added graphite. Yeah. Wherever there are overlaps, you can always add that darkness. Yeah. And now blend the chalk that you put on your triply. Soften it so that it blends with your paper. You can always add some bit of darkness here also, since it is on your triply. Yeah. And that's it. I think we don't need to add anything else. You can add some bubbles, you can add some black pearls if you want. Those embellishments are always available. Go ahead and add them wherever you feel like. Always a nice idea. Small little pearls. Well, you can do that on your triply also. It will definitely add to the look of your tile. Right? So embellishments, a nice way to add to the look of your tile in a very simple way, easy way. Use your jelly roll to clear the lines inside. If at all they are there. You want to add some more embellishments, you can do this. But these are optional things, right? So you decide if you want to add more, you can. Right? You can always add some etching, something, anything, right? So if you want, you can do that. If you don't want, just leave it there. Right? So I think we are done. We don't need to do anything else here. I'm going to close my tile here. So try different versions of the same tangle. Try more, try different ideas. I'm going to put my chalk here. One small thing that you can do here is use your brush pen and add a little bit of shadow under your black pearls. You can also do that with your pencil, just little easier like this. So I'm using my brush pen, but you can always do that with your pencil also. Yeah. So I've put in my chalk. Let's sign and date it. Do put in a comment if you wish to. And I will see you again with another new session. Till then, have a good time. Bye-bye.